We have somebody here who has been vegan 37 years. And
37. Hmm.
37. And she cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, prediabetes, and obesity. She's an organizer for the Sacramento Vegan Society and has done that for years, brought up the membership. You've got 5,000 members. You've done so much, Linda.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just so happy that you're here. And then as I read on about your biography, I thought, oh my gosh, you also teach classes in yoga and what is
No,
it?
not yoga. Kickboxing and step. No yoga.
Kickboxing. Yeah, not yoga, kickboxing. Oh my gosh. And she is a mentor, a vegan mentor health coach, as well as a food for life nutrition and cooking instructor for Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine with Dr. Neil Bernard. And she's also the co-owner with her son Darren Middlesworth of vdog.com, a vegan dog food business that she and her late husband David launched 19 years ago. Linda, we are so happy that you're here and grateful that you've made this time for us. I'm going to
Oh,
turn it over to you and let you say whatever you'd like to say to the world.
okay. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate being here. I'm honored to be here. My problem in life is I don't know what I want to do the most. I love animals, so I know that's number one. But then I want to be a health coach, and I want to be a personal trainer, and like I am, and aerobic instructor, and then I have all these animal rights groups I love and I work for. And I tell you, it gets so overwhelming sometimes, but I wouldn't change a thing. But I want to do more with plant-based treaty. My goodness, they are already helping my son with VDog to help the dogs in the fire victims in LA, because that's one of the worst climate change things I've seen in California ever. Um, This is confirm my language. This is Portuguese. Okay, I better put English here. Hold on. I don't know Portuguese. I know a little Russian, but not Portuguese. So let me save that. Anyway, and I speak German, but that's beside the point. Anyway, I'm so glad to be here, and I have some. The reason I chose my title, which is Farm Animal Money and Avian Flu Coverups, is because I think so many people, like myself, don't know really what's going on, who's paying for it, and they don't really know what's going on with the animals, especially here in California. So I'd like to go right ahead and share screen and show you my presentation. Let's see. So I chose this. It's a pretty new subject for me, but I've been working with two groups to find out more and to help with it. I'm doing everything I can to volunteer for everybody who's working on this right now. So this poor little baby has avian flu, and this is what it looks like up close. Can you imagine how painful that is for them? I do show some graphic pictures, I'm sorry, but I feel like people need to know the truth. And I'm always showing graphic pictures no matter where I speak, because it needs to be seen. And sometimes it really gets people to wake up. Some people don't want to know anything, but that's too bad. Anyway, so it's really hell on earth for them. And they already had their beaks cut off. Okay, my little curse, there you go. Anyway, so in the United States, over 20 million chickens die before they ever get to slaughter. By just transportation, they have their bones broken, or they throw them and they break them. Catching them by hand or machine stress, food and water deprivation. They're forced to grow too quickly, or crowding or stunning an electric water bath. Very painful. This is what we've done to chickens. These are broiler chickens. And this is 2005, so it's even worse now on the big chickie there. So they can barely walk. They're so heavy, and they're fed unnatural foods, things that they don't usually eat. So the National Institute of Health says that since 2003, highly pathogenic avian flu is in 54 countries. And this is what really scares me, is that 939 confirmed cases in humans, and almost half of them have died. So half of the people, about 50% of the people who get avian flu are dead. So if we get avian flu human to human contact now, we will think of COVID as a walk in the park. And it comes from people who butcher them, pluck them, or even children who play with them. And you mutate soon to human without too much trouble. They must be killed immediately when they get it around the world. In Nigeria, they don't get compensated, but in the USA gets compensated for all the death by us. We pay for it. So the avian flu lethal form, which is H5N1, was detected in USA and Canada in 2021. Tens of millions of birds were killed, and they're being killed daily. This caused the one-time price of eggs to go up. But guess what? Yesterday on the news, they said eggs are now, some of them, $12 for 1 dozen eggs, which is very high. And so it's very high. And the Department of Agriculture paid poultry workers more than $500 million for turkeys, chickens, and egg-laying hens after getting infected with the bird flu. And then they go ahead and get more, and then they kill some more, and it just goes on and on. So last year, the Department of Agriculture reported that since 2022, more than 82 million farm birds have been killed. They produce more than 9 billion chickens and turkeys each year. In 2024, the USDA, that's the United States Department of Agriculture, reports that the H5N1 is in 876 lactating herds. Now, Dr. Crystal Heath, which I have listed down here, is the executive director of Our Honor. And she drove up and down California hundreds of miles and took pictures of dead cows all along the roadsides, even 14 miles away from the dairy farm. This is on a dairy farm, but they have dead cows lined up with avian flu. And this connects to the wild birds, which connects to humans and scavengers and even roaming cats and dogs. So even the healthy cows are not far from the sick cows, which just keeps it going. And then 1.7 million confined dairy cows are in California. And they're quarantined with avian flu, and we're the leading dairy. We have more cows than anybody in California. I live in California. And these birds, especially the European starling bird, are swarming around the cows, and they get the nasal discharge from the cow. Cats and dogs too. But this is the nasal discharge. This cow is actually laying down, and you can see a little bit of nasal discharge there. And that goes on to the wild birds and everything else around. So the avian flu is found in 9 states, 108 countries, more than 500 bird species, 70 mammal species, polar bears, condors, 485 mammal and bird species have been infected. Since 2003, over 900 dairy cases reported to the World Health Organization. Half are fatal in 23 countries. And the cows get avian flu fevers. They reduce their appetite, and then they don't have good milk production. And so even in Washington, all the 20 wild cats like jaguars and tigers and lions were killed within 24 hours once they got the bird flu. They get a fever, get pneumonia, and die. It's really terrible. And then the way they kill the animals, not just the chickens, but the pigs too, and other animals, but mostly the chickens and the pigs. They use ventilation shutdown, which I did not know about. It is the most horrifying, inhumane thing I've ever seen in my life. I will show you that in a minute. They heat up the room and close it up so they can't get air out, and they heat it up, and they just really burn up to death very slowly. So they get money to test how long it takes to kill them. They get tens of millions of dollars just to test all these chickens. And then they get paid off. They pay these companies their indemnification. For Jenny O turkey store, they got $88 million. And then Tyson Foods, 30 million. Despite these losses, they reported billions of dollars in profits. And the majority of the payments are made to meat and egg industries. So this is another horrible thing, I think. Cows are fed chicken poop. The avian flu infected chicken poop. They think this is another reason why cows are starting to have so much avian flu. They take the poop from the chickens, make it into little pellets, and give it to the cows. But guess what else they give the cows to eat? And remind you, they are vegetarians and they get feathers, heavy metals, bacteria. Of course, they get antibiotics and rodents, and they get parts of fish, crab, shrimp, crawfish. They feed them sawdust and they soften it with nitric oxide and gummy worms, marshmallows, hard candy, sprinkles, chocolate cocoa mix, and limestone. Yeah. So here they are with the crabs, the limestone, the poop, and the candy they get. This is not good for cows. So Governor Newsom in California declared a state of emergency. And I was going to go protest at his house, but now we have the California fire, so I got to leave him alone. So that's what we have going on in California. It's very scary. And just yesterday on the news, they said right near where I live and in Sacramento and also in Yolo County near me, there's backyard chickens being culled. And even people who have small chicken businesses, I'm talking 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 chickens. They're killing the chickens now all the time because of the bird flu, just on the news yesterday. And the taxpayers are paying for this. Because they get more chickens after we pay for it. And we're subsidizing big groups like Hormel Foods, Weber Family Farms, Pittman Family Farms, and Foster Farms. And this is Dr. Crystal Health. She's a veterinarian and she's the executive director of Our Honor. She said this is the worst avian flu outbreak in the history, which has led to the mass culling of around 50% of California's egg-laying hens. So 73% of dairy revenue are from public subsidies. According to Studarcha, Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology, we spend $38 billion per year to subsidize this. Many of the USDA farms don't even want veterinarians to come out and check the milk because they don't want the bad image. This is really, really scary because people are now thinking that raw milk is the best way to drink it. It's not pasteurized or it has bird flu in it. Now this is two groups here I hang around with because I like what they're doing for the bird flu. Okay, this is down here on the right is Free from Harm, which is run by Robert Grillo, and then in Defense of Animals. So right here in this very fuzzy picture, I have Jan LeBond, and over here on the right, I have Hillary LeBond, and they are working with in Defense of Animals. And then Leah Wilburn is too. And then Free from Harm has helped us organize all this too. So we went into we had to wait 3.5 hours in a public discussion on cattle health, risk health, public thing that they had. So to get to the end of it, we had to listen to these people talk about what they're going to do with the giant piles of avian flu manure from the cows, and they're the size of a house, all of the piles. They're going to have to put them back in the earth, let it run in the water. These are infected. So it's really scary. So we went into their meeting, and it took a long time, but we finally ended up telling them, well, they need a plant-based food system before it's too late. This is what we should be doing with chickens and cows, as you know. But if you could take a screenshot of that and help support these two groups, just get involved, just ask questions, ask how you can help them, because these two groups are on the forefront of this avian flu. Well, a lot of things, but avian flu. So please support them. And then I borrowed this from my friend Jane Velez Mitchell, because I'd like you to take a screenshot of that, especially if you live in the United States. And for sure, if you live in California, I would like you to call that number up here. We got to get a hold of Vilsac's office to tell them that we need more testing on the milk. And we need to have a plant-based system. Please do that. So thank you for that. Now I'm going to, let's see if I can end show, escape. Let's see. I'm going to go find something else I'd like to show you. I hope we have time. Let's see. First of all, I want to show you.
Linda, we'll have 5 minutes, so whatever you
Oh,
think.
5 minutes. Okay, just let me show you briefly.
There's an avian influenza outbreak that's sweeping the country. Millions and millions of birds are being killed through mass depopulation methods. Over the course of approximately a year and a half and multiple public records requests, Animal Outlook, a national nonprofit animal protection organization, was able to obtain approximately 10 hours.
Okay, can you see this anyway? I want to show you this.
Yes, yes, please. Yes, we can. Oh my.
This virus is particularly concerning because it has spread to so many different mammal species. And each time it jumps from animal to animal, it creates a new opportunity for the virus to develop the mutations necessary that make it more easily transmissible between humans.
Over the last year or so, we're starting to get more and more cases of humans that are affected by this virus. Right now, the majority of cases are from infected milk, raw milk, most likely through contact with hands, milk, and eyes. But we do have a few cases now that reflect the potential for the virus to further evolve and mutate and cause significant infection and disease.
Just seeing stock footage of healthy cows, I think people just think of avian influenza in like the abstract, like it's just something out there that's happening. But actually seeing sick cows, piles of dead cows, I think really brings it home to a lot of people. It shows the public the true implications of this virus when they see the actual cows for themselves.
At the broadest sense, I think one thing I try to remind people of is that in the 7,000 or so years that humans have domesticated animals for food production, this is the largest animal disease outbreak we've ever had. Whether you look at it geography, we have 6 or 7 continents affected. Whether you're looking at species, we have wild and domesticated birds and mammals, and now we're starting to have human infections. So this is extraordinary. It's important for us from a public health perspective to sound the alarm before this becomes a big problem, as opposed to waiting until something significant happens and then responding.
Okay, I would like to show you a little bit more. We went to the California Department of Agriculture, Farming and Agriculture, to be at their meeting. And let's see if I can open it. And here, this is here. We IDA, which is in defense of animals, and Free from Harm, and myself all went to their meeting on the Cattle Health Risk Task Force. And we had to listen to them talk for about 3.5 hours before we got to say anything. Here's me talking.
And I'm worried about that bird flu very much. And I know that there are dead dairy cows infected with bird flu that lay along the roadside near dairy farms. The scavengers go after them. There's no biosecurity or warning. And that scavenger hunt there actually spreads the disease, the bird flu, to wildlife, other birds, and humans. How can the CDFA allow this? And are you putting industry profits over public health and animal welfare? That's my question.
I would say no. We have been in touch with producers on best practices, reminding them they know. These are reminders to the producers on how to handle that.
By the way, she's lying. They're not doing anything about it. Nothing. Those dead cows are documented by Dr. Crystal Heath. Now I'd like to hear Leah Wilburn when she was at the same meeting.
Ventilation shutdown has become the standard in this bird flu crisis to get rid of and kill in the most cruel and inhumane way over 100 million animals because of bird flu crisis, which it seems to me is an industry created problem. So I'm just curious what the solution, if we're talking about solutions today.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. This is not the public comment period. So these individuals.
Well, my question was about bird flu in and of itself, like how we're going to be dealing with this if we're continuing to kill over 100 million more animals just because of bird flu in ventilation shutdown, which is one of the most horrific, cruel ways that you can kill animals, right? Where you suffocate and roast them to death over hours. It's being done to chickens. Has been done to pigs in 2020, over 250,000 animals. So my question is, I'm just curious, what is the plan of action for this? I'd love to know. Anybody? Yeah, the question was simply how we plan to deal with having ventilation shut down as a standard way of killing animals.
Yes, we're adjourned.
So no answer to the question from the public.
No question.
That was a question. Yes, it was a question. Stop. We are here in Sacramento, California at the Farm Bureau headquarters. We were just in the Cattle Health Task Force meeting where we challenged everyone in the room, including Dr. Annette Jones, the state veterinarian, to tell them the urgent need, especially in the bird flu crisis, but at all times to transition from a slaughter animal-based food system to a plant-based food system that is safe, truly sustainable, and truly humane for the animals and for all humans and the planet.
So I'm going to stop screen share now. Also, Dr. Crystal Health.
I never know if I'm really live. And there we go.
Are we okay now?
Hey, everyone. Welcome to day 10 of Thriving in the Face of Cancer. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and every day for the next 21 days, I'll be talking to top doctors and other healthcare professionals, as well as people who have survived cancer.
I don't know why she keeps popping up. She's a good friend of mine. Maybe she's trying to help me. I don't know. Anyway, so I just want to say that Crystal Heath has done an amazing job with and they have over 2,000 veterinarians who have signed the Stop Ventilation Shutdown because it's so inhumane. The pigs take sometimes 17 hours before they die. They're suffocating to death while they die. They put nitric oxide in there and everything. So it's really horrifying. And it was supposed to be for special issues they had, but now they're just using it all the time. And the really sad part is I think most people in America have no idea that we taxpayers are paying for all of this murder, this horrible way to murder, and to keep the whole ag system going. And so I want to work with plant-based treaty. I want to get my governor involved. And I want to get involved with getting our city to be completely plant-based. I have 5,500 members in my own group here in Sacramento, the Sacramento Vegan Society. And I'm very proud of that. And we have several kinds of people. We have the animal lovers, ethical vegans. Then we have the people who care about their health. And then we have a few here and there who care about the environment. So I really want to start pushing all three still, but I would like more people to get involved with this. And I think if I can get my 5,500 people involved with the plant-based treaty, and I can start maybe bringing in more food-based systems in our government here, in our city council. So I'm going to need help on how to do that, but I'd really like to do that. That's a big goal for me. And I just really love all of this. It's kind of funny though, I have to say, I have people in my group, the animal lovers seem to not care about their health. They eat all the processed food, it's vegan. They just don't care about the healthy side. Then I've got the healthy side. They really care about their health and they don't really think about the animals and it's just not important to them. There's a little small group in the middle who cares about all of it and the environment. So I'd somehow like to bring all those together, but I'm not sure quite how. But it's wonderful that we have so many people who are vegan, at least here in Sacramento. We have quite a few vegan restaurants. I think we should be on a list of some kind for having the most vegan options in a city. We have a lot of vegan restaurants. Some of them aren't completely vegan, but they offer a lot of vegan food. So I'm very happy with that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Linda. I tell you, I was so amazed at the presentation and the bird flu and how many animals are being killed. Thank you so much for that enlightening one. I will be sure and share it.
Thank you.
And we have 3 minutes, so we'll keep our questions and answers short. I don't see anybody. Let's see, Danny, do you have any questions for us that you'd like to come on for?
I don't have any questions in the chat right now.
Okay, that's
I'd
fine.
like though if Linda could
If you
maybe
will,
if we could get her contact information in the chat.
if you'll
Thank
just,
You want me to type it in? Okay. You can just go to my website.
we'll do that. We'll do that.
Okay.
We'll take
My
yeah.
website, veganmentor.com, is the best way to get a hold of me. And I do coaching, but I do all the rest of the stuff with the animals too.
Great, thank you. And so now we do have one person with a question, Sai, and then it will be time to go.
Okay.
Let's see here. He's going to try to turn on his camera. All right.
Hi, Linda. Thanks for the
Hi,
great
Sai.
presentation. Yeah,
Thank
it's very
you.
shocking to know what's happening out there. I was just curious to know about antibiotic resistance. I think the animal agriculture uses a lot of antibiotics to control these viruses. So, have you seen impacts of antibiotic resistance in people and in animals also? I know that's a big topic in itself, but just wanted to know some thoughts about it.
I didn't quite understand the last part about the antibiotics.
Yeah, antibiotic resistance.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure of the statistics on that, but now that we feed all farmed animals antibiotics, including the fish, it's going to be not that far off that there's nothing going to be for us, for the humans. And then people will start to care, I suppose. But it's really going to it's going to just happen. One day it's going to happen and people, oh my God, the antibiotics don't work anymore. Because we're really using it on all our farmed animals. And it's very scary. I'll try to get more statistics on that though, and see if we're close to the edge or where we are with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to know. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's very scary. And people don't realize that eating animals is the worst way to take care of us. And they always say things like, oh, we've always eaten meat. And anyway, where do I get my protein? I think I hear that one every day. Where do I get my protein? Well, I'm almost 81 in a couple weeks, and I've got muscles galore. Yeah, I'm very strong. And so I like to show that off. I always show my muscles to people, say, where do I get my protein? I said, well, what are you going to look like at 81? Do you have muscles? Huh? So I got to really, hi, Renee, there, I see her. And yeah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that and the question. And we're going to bring Renee King-Sonnen on for our final question. Yay, Renee.
Hi there. Hi, Linda.
Oh, my friend Renee.
I love watching your comedic hour too. I mean, because you bring, a topic that is so difficult to talk about, and you genuinely are funny like Lucille Ball. And so I love it. We've had many escapades. But anyway, my question as a person that has a sanctuary and that has chickens and we have ducks and turkeys and all the animals. I mean, we spend so much time caring for them and making sure their health is good. It's frightening to think that animal gets sick at our sanctuary, that a vet might come and suspect the bird flu or something, and then come and kill all of our animals.
I know.
I have heard of this happening, and it's terrifying. So I just want to know if you are working with sanctuaries to help raise awareness about this, how we can, maybe come together,
Okay.
because that's one of the things. I mean, I'm even afraid sometimes to call a vet out
Okay,
now
put that in the
because of the
Zoom
things
chat.
I know. Well, yes, I work with Animal Place and Preattering and a few sanctuaries. And in fact, I'm going to be tabling for VDOG at Animal Place very soon. But they're frightened too. In fact, we found a turkey that was wild and it was kind of by itself and it was banging into cars. And so we tried to take that turkey to the Animal Place and they said they can't take it. They can't take it because of the bird flu. They're frightened because it's so scary and there's not much you can do because like around the cows are all these wild birds and the wild birds are getting the discharge from the cows and they're spreading it all over the place. And these backyard chickens around here, around where I live, are being killed all the time. They have bird flu. Where did they get it? They're just backyard chickens. So that is very scary about farm sanctuaries. Look at in Washington, they killed all those lions and tigers and jaguars. In 24 hours, they were dead because it happened so fast. How'd they get it? I don't know. But somehow it's probably the wild birds because they're the ones swarming around the cows and things like that are infected. And one thing I didn't say also is that Crystal Heath, she took pictures all along California and she took pictures of the workers who work on the cows. They didn't have proper PPE or protective gear on, or they had it on the mask down here. They didn't wear it properly. They're not even being advised to keep the PPE on. So they're getting infected. So nobody's controlling this. It's just like it's wild. You can do whatever you want as long as you have the money and as long as government will keep paying for this and we taxpayers are paying for it. I didn't know we taxpayers were paying it to kill so many animals. I did not know that. Tens of millions of chickens and pigs, especially, we are paying for. And then they just get a new batch in. It's really horrifying. But yeah, I'm really worried about sanctuaries and being infected because there's not much you can do about it right now. That's why we have to stop this.
The only thing I know you can do is like me. I sometimes am scared to call the vet out.
Yeah.
When a chicken is ill, I'd rather take care of it myself than risk all
Yeah.
of my.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I don't want you to get bird flu either. So yeah, no, it's very scary. Thanks
Thank you
for the
so
question.
much. Thank you. And I think the one thing we can do is we can make sure people know the connections between bird flu and maybe stop eating these chickens. So thank you so much.
That's the only good thing about bird flu is that people might not buy the eggs. They're so expensive now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll stop drinking the raw milk now.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's the only good thing I can think of for bird flu. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sorry about all the videos that popped up.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was very informative. Thank you.
Thank you.